New Metalstorm players, you're gonna want to watch this. What's up everybody, my name is Tyler, we're playing Metalstorm, and I've had a whole lot of people asking me lately about my settings, if I have any tips or tricks or secrets or any advice that will help them play better. And I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a long time, and now that day is finally here. I think I might be able to help improve your gameplay by sharing some of my suggested settings that have, through trial and error, helped me enormously with my Metalstorm gameplay. Now, I don't want to waste too much of your time here, so let's get into it. Now, keep in mind that some of these settings are exclusive to PC and some are exclusive to mobile, but the settings I'm going to be covering today should apply to both platforms, so let's dive in. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is go into General Settings, and right underneath Gameplay, we're going to turn off Missile Aim Assist. Now, if you're playing mouse and keyboard, this won't matter. If you're playing on mobile or if you use a controller, you're going to want to shut this off. What Missile Aim Assist does is, essentially, it's going to slowly drift your crosshairs towards the nearest enemy airplane when you're trying to get a missile lock. And we don't want that drift, because it's automatically changing where the nose of your aircraft is pointing, and therefore changing the direction your aircraft is traveling automatically, and we don't want to give up any of that control of our aircraft whatsoever. Not to mention, it's not hard to aim missiles anyway, and the aim assist barely makes any noticeable difference in accuracy, yet it makes a huge difference when it comes to aircraft handling. Next is Cannon Aim Assist. You want to leave that on because, unlike Missile Aim Assist, Cannon Aim Assist makes a huge difference, and firing your cannons does require a lot of accuracy, and the trade-off is absolutely worth it. Everybody uses it, so switching it off will put you at a huge disadvantage. Cannon Auto Zoom, keep that off. Cannon Auto Zoom will zoom the camera in every time you fire your cannons. We don't want this, because it decreases your field of view, taking away your ability to process what's going on around you and essentially leaving you blind to your surroundings. And in my experience, keeping Cannon Auto Zoom on doesn't help at all with accuracy. Muting or hiding emotes is just a matter of preference. You can mute emotes if it's annoying you, but I recommend keeping them unmuted. Haptic feedback, I recommend leaving this on for mobile users, but it's really just a matter of preference. I don't personally think having it on or off will improve your gameplay to any significant degree. Max targeting circle lead only applies if you're flying either the J-10 or the J-20, because it affects the way you aim, look, and shoot missiles. This setting extends the lead angles the missile reticle travels while targeting an enemy. Mouse and keyboard players don't really have to worry about this, but if you use mobile or controller on PC, I would recommend maxing this out to 20. At the very bottom, you'll see a hide email address settings. This is useful if you stream or create content, take screenshots, etc., and you don't want your email address to be known. I recommend using this setting. Now to camera settings. You want to max out both camera distance and field of view. This will do exactly what you think it'll do. It maximizes your field of view so that you can see as much of your surroundings as possible. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and your aircraft is going to appear smaller on screen, but it's well worth it. Every pro player has these settings maxed out, so I recommend you do it too. Now, I don't really have anything groundbreaking for audio and graphics. Those are all going to be based on your personal preference. I have the background music shut off as far as the audio goes. As far as the graphics go, I would just say use the highest settings you can without sacrificing performance. I would stop increasing your graphics setting once your frame rate starts to drop below 60 minimum or you start to get lag. But again, it's all preference. Some people prefer higher frame rates while other people prefer better graphics. Totally up to you. As for bindings, well, that deserves a whole entire video on its own, but it all boils down to preference as well, and if I was to go over, I'd have to go over touch controls, keyboard bindings, controller bindings, and that's all just going to take too long, so I'm going to skip it for now, but let me know if you want a video on it, and I'll definitely look into it. Now, onto advanced settings. As far as whether or not you want to use metric or imperial units, that's obviously preference, so go wild with that. Now, below your units of measurement, you're going to see those toggles for altitude, turn rate, and acceleration. These display on the bottom left side of your HUD, and I would toggle all these on because it helps you get a feel for the performance and limits of your aircraft. You obviously want altitude displayed, and I find turn rate and acceleration to be very helpful when it comes to reminding me of the limits of each of my aircraft. Plus, they don't really take up that much space on your screen anyways, so I just keep all these on. Under General Settings, Game Performance is on by default, I believe, and it displays important game data on the very bottom of the screen, such as ping and frame rate. I keep this on. Under that, Show Velocity Direction that's a mouthful. Show velocity direction reticle. This is off by default, and I would turn it on. What this does is it shows your aircraft's direction of travel in relation to the direction your nose is pointed. Because when you fly an airplane, once you point the nose in a specific direction, the plane doesn't just instantly go in that direction. There's always some lag. So having the velocity reticle on, I find really helps me when it comes to tight maneuvering and handling. Show identifiers on minimap. Turn that on. This setting assigns a number to each aircraft on your minimap, and this is extremely useful when it comes to flying in a squad, especially if you're on Discord and voice comms, because you can call an enemy number out, or call out instructions to your teammate, and your team will know exactly which aircraft on the radar that you're referring to. And there's a setting for colors. This will change the colors of your teammates and enemies on the minimap. Also the color of the rings in air superiority. So, that's all preference. Go wild with it. The HUD scale, again, is just preference. I personally just leave this setting at default, honestly. The HUD reticle scale just changes the size of your velocity reticle, and the minimap scale just changes the size of the minimap, so it's completely up to you on how you want to do this. What's the smoothing and dead zone? I would just leave all that at 0 unless there's a very specific way you play when you fly with controller or if you're troubleshooting. Dead zone just refers to how long your stick travels before there's an input detected, and axis smoothing just refers to the responsiveness of the stick. Down to controls, I just left all this at default. I wouldn't even worry about these settings unless you want to watch replays or you're spectating and you absolutely can't stand a certain setting, but most people just leave this all at default. Now the very last setting, which is called Look Ahead Max Angle, if you're playing on mobile or a controller, and Cursor Full Turn Angle on mouse and keyboard. I would recommend maxing it out if you play on a controller or if you're on mobile. This essentially makes the camera look ahead to a certain degree in the direction you're turning. And this does take some getting used to, but as with all the rest of the camera settings I've mentioned, maxing out this setting will allow you to be able to see your surroundings better, and therefore will allow you to make better decisions more quickly. If you use mouse and keyboard, it's just a matter of preference because the mouse allows you to look ahead anyways, whereas using a controller doesn't allow it by default. Now, all that being said, you can get the exact same effect by using the free look feature, but that takes extra fingers and brain power that you could be allocating to other resources. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope these setting suggestions help you become a better Metalstorm pilot. If you have any questions about any of these settings at all, or if you have any tips or tricks to add, please let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. My name is Tyler, I am a new content creator on YouTube, and I also stream Metalstorm on Twitch. Link in the description. I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I will see you guys in the skies.